Good evening, people. We are back with another edition of the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I am James, joined as always with Kaelyn, and we're going to be discussing, of course, some mainstream MMA. We're going to start with Bellator. Usually we start off with the UFC, but this time we're going to start with Bellator because there is no Bellator this weekend, or I want to say next week. I'm not quite sure, but they are taking a break this week, and that's the furthest fight back, the fight we made picks for. So we're going to be discussing that. What did you think about the fight card overall?
For the Bellator, I was actually really excited for that one, and it ended up being pretty good. I was really impressed with that fight card. I might have even liked it more than the UFC one that happened on Saturday. But yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I miss these kind of Bellator fight cards. I feel like maybe they've had a lot of fight cards where it wasn't so stacked lately, but this one looked like it was pretty exciting. So
if they did pay-per-views, this would have been a pay-per-view card.
Yes,
with how they stacked it. It was awesome. Yeah. I did miss this first fight, but I did run it back and I watched it. Wow. Michael Venom Page versus Derek Anderson. I've never seen a dude's face get caved in before. And I've watched more fights than people have. I've forgotten more fights than people have watched. Let's just be real about that. And I've never seen a dude's face get wrecked that badly.
Yeah.
Ever. I've seen a guy get busted up, cuts to the head and what have you, but never his face pushed in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you lean into somebody's kick like that. Not saying it was intentional. I'm just saying he did lean into that.
He leaned in and ate it, and that was nuts. It was wow. Yeah. Props to Michael Page. He is the man. There's a reason why there's a hype train behind him,
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not surprised that he did something like that. But that was pretty interesting. And I'm not talking shit, but he totally leaned into it. He leaned into that kick perfectly.
No, I mean, it happens in a fight, and just perfect placement, timing, and there you go.
Reminds me of is that one with Rose and Wei Li, how she thought something else was coming. She leaned, her hands left her guard was broken open and took that kick. That's what happens.
And that was it.
Thought something else was going to happen, and surprise, surprise, there's his shin.
That was, and I'm actually sad I missed it when it first ran, but I'm glad I got to watch it and just be like, oh,
I almost missed it.
That was a great fight. Can't wait to see what he does next. And then, now that's the main event. Let's go ahead and backtrack this way. We had Patricky Pitbull versus Peter Quayle. And this fight, I was surprised. Peter took the TKO win over Pitbull. I picked Pitbull.
I
was
did
quite
too,
surprised.
I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. That was unexpected. Well, I mean, I don't know these guys enough to really make that kind of guess anyway, but I did pick Pitbull. So. I
did too, and yeah, we picked all the same fighters in this fight. So in this card. So he got the win. I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, well,
I was a little surprised.
Let's see what happens. Oh, I want to hear him do his Irish accent. Oh, that's nice. I was like, someone needs to get him to say Lucky Charms.
Oh my God. Is this the guy? This was Connor's one of his main training partners, isn't he? I think that's what they said.
This is gonna sound super messed up. I feel like Ireland is only so big. There's only so much mixed martial arts. They probably know each other.
Yeah, but that was one of the things I noticed when they announced him right after he got that, and then even when looking at him, I'm like, he kind of looks like Connor.
Yeah, it looks like somebody he'd roll with. Yeah, they drink a little, proper 12.
It looks like Connor aged a bit. That's all.
Wow.
They're probably the same age too.
I'm losing my hair. I'm just going to shave it, and now you have this guy. All right, and then we had Anthony Johnson making his return to the cage after, God, I want to say 4 years.
I don't even know. It's been so long.
Against Jose Augusto. And Jose looked pretty good in that first round because Rumble just wasn't all there. But
Right.
then Rumble came back in that second and put it down.
Yeah. Well, Augusto broke his hand punching. He broke his hand punching Anthony Johnson, and I think he did it twice. And then you could really tell, he stepped back. He was even holding his arm. Like everyone knew what happened.
He was trying to shake it off.
Yeah, everyone knew what happened there. But also, he came back too. He started. I think he used that broken hand a couple times, and then also he had. I thought Anthony Johnson may have been done there with one of those.
As did I.
Clipped him in just the right spot. He fell. I was like, oh no, I think he's out. And then, gets back up. The round was over, comes back and knocks him out. That's exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him knock him out, and he did.
It was an exciting fight. Just a lot of craziness, especially when he broke his hand. And you knew he broke his hand because of the gestures that he made, like trying to shake it off and just grabbing his hand while he's trying to contend with Anthony Johnson, who's looking to kill him basically and make this return.
Yep.
Got out of the round, but then the second, Johnson was just like, I'm just going to.
Yeah, but man, Augusto almost had him too. That was insane.
No, that was a great first round by him. With the unfortunate, incident of breaking his hand, I think he could have taken the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He did so good for the whole circumstance of what happened there. It was supposed to be Ramiro, but someone didn't pass their drug test.
That didn't happen. But what's also crazy is after Anthony Johnson got the win, he went to jail.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
Yes, he was arrested.
Wow.
A trip to Connecticut for Bellator 258 got him into some unexpected trouble with the law.
Yeah.
Wow. The arrest stemmed from a November 2019 complaint in which the alleged victim claimed their credit card was being used by a third party without their permission after a round trip ticket was purchased from Fort Lauderdale to Newark, New Jersey. And the passenger on the ticket was Anthony Johnson. Hopefully it's a case of mistaken identity and that's not the Anthony Johnson. Hopefully it's someone else. I hope. But
I hope it's a mistake. There's so many possibilities, and the fact that we don't know that much about it, there could be a lot. It could be so many stories.
You're right.
Could be so many different things. I'm hoping it's something that's just stupid. Maybe not a mix-up, but maybe some. The first thing that came to my mind, I'm like, wait a sec, because I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, what if he just used a friend's credit card and then pissed him off, and then they reported it because they got pissed off?
Possibly a jilted lover, depending on the situation. You never know.
Yeah. Or maybe he did, but the amount, man, that's so low to me to arrest someone over that amount of money, isn't it? I believe the rule or law is if it's above like 400, they can come and arrest you, but $400. I'm surprised that someone would even care as far as law enforcement to go and actually arrest him and take him in.
I mean, he was released though on $500 bond. So
that's so low,
It's crazy low, especially being here in California where they're like, your bail is set at $4 million.
Yeah, or they don't even arrest you anymore in California, to be honest. They don't.
Yeah.
If they do, you're out in about 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
Committing more crimes.
I hear about that a lot too, so yeah.
I'm interested to see what comes out of this, if there's going to be any more info posted. I'm sure he'll have to come out and say something, or who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I hope nothing bad happens to him. Hopefully he didn't do it. I don't know that, all the circumstances, just from what I've seen or what I've read. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
The time frame, I don't know. I don't think he just came back to fighting, and who knows the actual reason why he wants to fight. Who knows? Maybe he does need some money, and maybe it actually is true.
Maybe.
I don't know. I hope it blows over or gets solved, whatever.
Same here. But we're going to go ahead and continue back to the Bellator card. And then we had the bantamweight world title. Sergio Pettis wins by decision. He is your champion. He beats Juan Archuleta. We took Archuleta. We thought the champ would come out and do it. I feel like
Yeah.
both Pettis has been kind of shaky in some performances. So
Yeah.
that's why there was doubt for me, at least, that I thought Archuleta would take it. Clearly, that
Yeah.
didn't happen. Archuleta did not look very good in that fight.
Yeah.
Pettis really took it to him.
Yeah, or Sergio Pettis that good. You don't know, but it was a good fight. Sergio Pettis definitely surprised. I was surprised because I normally do go for the champ just because of experience, and he's already got the belt, and you would kind of automatically assume that they would have the upper hand. But yeah, this is just one of those cases where there's a new champion now.
Yeah, he was the champ. His brother's the champ.
Yeah.
They finally won something. Just too bad it wasn't in the UFC.
Yeah. Well, Anthony Pettis just lost his fight that he had in PFL, isn't that right?
That's true. That is true. He did lose. I take that back. I thought
He used to be like
I
the
wanted
face of
him to
UFC.
win. I wanted him to win, but he did lose.
Yeah.
So I am mistaken. Yeah, it's so
The
shaky
tables have
because
turned. It's his little brother's turn.
you also have the older brother who's relying on accolades from the WEC with this Showtime kick. WEC has been gone for
A long
10
time.
plus years now.
Yeah, and
Which
that
I
Showtime pick, his opponent has
missed the
been gone as
WEC.
well. Yeah.
That is true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. We're gonna keep going. And so we discussed Bellator, nothing going on this weekend, but the UFC is on, like always. We're gonna talk about last week's fight night that happened. We had Philip Haas versus Kyle Dawkins.
Yeah. What do you think about that one? Do you remember that one?
Haas took it to him. He just out wrestled him.
Yeah.
Used his strength. He reminded me of a mini Kevin Randleman. And I don't know if you know who that is, because I'm the old timer in this. But
I know
yeah, the hairstyle and the way he was built.
the hair.
The hair, of course, what set it off. But he reminded me of a mini Kevin Randleman because of the way he controlled the fight. He used a lot of wrestling. He looked really good.
Yeah.
Dawkins was kind of just there.
Okay, so Dawkins showed up in the first round for sure. And then the tables kind of turned. Dawkins had thrown some kind of head kick, but spun around and caught him with that spinning back fist. But then ever since then, it just totally reversed. So I was still a little surprised because that spinning back fist almost knocked him out. He was a little wobbly for a little while and then came back and then decided maybe wrestling's the best choice. So kind of pretty much just handled him from there.
Yep, got the decision win. I felt like some UFC cards, the way they're put together, the fight's not going to go to decision. Like, it's really the dice roll. In a majority of these fights for the UFC, they went to decision, but there were some really exciting fights, like this next fight we're going to talk about. Diego Ferreira versus.
Oh my God.
Let me get my notes. I'm an old person. I write this stuff down.
Gregor.
It's Diego Ferreira. Sorry, I mispronounced that. That fight was awesome versus Gregor Gillespie because the scrambles got me. I was like, oh.
Every round, yeah. Every single round. That's all it really was. Really.
Which was exciting because they're trying to get the upper hand and you don't know. It's the war of attrition right there. And it was great. I loved it. And then you had Gregor getting the knockout win.
Well, ground and pound, but he totally, it was back and forth so many times. I think after the first round, the first or second, that Diego ended up on the top and looked better, but then it totally reversed where Gillespie ended up on top and then ended up finishing him with ground and pound. So if anyone's going to watch a ground game fight, that would be one to watch. I thought that was exciting too. Yeah,
I thought Fajeda would defend himself and try to escape, and no, Gillespie just had the answer.
Tired. I think he got tired. I think they were both tired.
About that. They did talk about that because the scrambles really put their cardio.
In the first round, the very first round, they kind of laid it all out there, and then the last two were just like, okay, who's going to survive better? And then Gillespie had just finished it. It was great.
So props to him. And we both picked him in the fight. We
Yeah.
didn't have a pick for the previous fight because Rebus versus Hill was postponed until
Wow.
June 5th.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what was it? COVID?
we didn't have a pick.
Do you know the reason why? I don't think they even said.
I didn't even look this time.
Yeah.
I was just like,
whatever.
again?
Yeah,
All
another fight. Was
right.
that 3 that fell out now for that fight
Yeah.
card? Yeah.
Girl keeps getting pushed back. What the heck?
Yeah. Well, she's ready.
Right. She's prepped now. Moving on, we have Maurice Green versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Mhm.
And we both picked de Lima. Maurice Green,
Disappointing, huh?
bad performance on his part, unfortunately.
I don't think he wanted to be there from watching that. But you never know what goes on with fighters. I can't talk shit, but he just wasn't there, you know? I don't think he was there mentally.
He was
just
on his
kinda
back,
there.
and he was just kind of, that was the
He's like,
sense
"I'm
I
just gonna
got
be in
watching
here."
the fight. I'm just going to get through this. If I win, I win.
Yeah.
Great. If I don't, I don't. But
Yeah.
it was unfortunate because he was on his back the entire time, not doing anything. I noticed that he would lock up his guard, and it's like,
Yes.
you're on your back, dude. This isn't a self-defense situation. You need to escape. You need to scramble. Like, get out.
He didn't
Get
even
out.
I noticed that he didn't really try at all. So I don't know. He could have been
He would throw strikes
exhausted.
from his back, but there's nothing to it. There's nothing
He
on
just
it.
didn't. Yeah, he wasn't very responsive. So yeah. And then did you see that weird altercation when the bell rang and Herb Dean was trying to break it up? He's like, "Hey, motherfucker."
Because that got me. That
I'm
made
like,
me
wait a
laugh.
second, this is live TV. What the heck? That's funny.
Where's the censors? My
And then
ears.
none of the commentators said anything about it. I thought that was funny too.
But yeah, de Lima hit him after the bell, and so
then
that's why
Maurice
Green was
poked
pissed.
him in the eye also.
Yeah, and so there was penalties on both sides, but the strike after the bell was the more of the severe of the
Yeah. I didn't even catch that,
issues.
and I had to go back. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I totally missed that, but because I didn't know why he was yelling. I didn't know why he was like, "Hey, motherfucker!" He was pissed off.
He's like, "You don't like my scarf, bitch?"
He's all, "Don't get me involved."
Right?
It's like, yes,
don't
sir.
Don't make me do this. He's like, he's basically like a parent. Like, I really don't want to do this right now.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna force my hand, and you don't want that. That fight, unfortunately, was uneventful, but de Lima got the win by decision, and
well, Maurice Green is cut now. He got cut from the UFC.
Yeah, it's true. Right after that fight, Maurice Green got cut from the UFC, so he's no longer there, especially because he has a tough tattoo on his shoulder. That's
they all do that. I watched that season of Ultimate Fighter. They all have that little tattoo there, but nothing really came about with him after that show, which is kind of sad. But
he just kind of went through.
Yeah.
I wonder if Diego Sanchez has a tough tattoo.
Oh God.
Maybe his coach gave it to him.
Him and his coach have probably matching tattoos. His coach or whatever he is, who knows?
That situation continues to get weirder and weirder.
I don't even know what to say about that. It is
the further we go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. So,
it's a bunch of craziness.
So until something new happens, we won't really worry about that.
Yeah.
Next, we had Neil Magny versus Jeff Neal.
Yes.
This fight was a trip to me because I had Neil starting off pretty well.
Yes.
But then he got to a point where I feel like his cardio might not have been in it.
Tired.
Yeah, and then Magny picked it up. But in the first round, Neil looked great fighting in the pocket. He would get in tight, and he looked good.
He looked good. His shots were very strong. You could tell they had a lot of power behind him. And Neil Magny weathered through that. But once he got through that, he just did his thing. I was actually a little surprised at how durable Neil Magny is. He took a lot of shots in the beginning and came back and just didn't stop. It looked easy for him after that. It looked like just training. He didn't look like he was getting exhausted. He was just throwing every kick and punch in the book, and they landed. He just outdid him. Yeah.
Once he was able to weather the storm that Neil had to offer,
Yeah.
he was like, okay, I'll take control. And that's what he did in the fight. He looked really good.
Yeah.
When he was in the pocket, Neil was fine until he tired out. But then in the range, Magny looked phenomenal. But
Yeah.
do you think that I had a question and I wrote it down, but clearly I don't know what I wrote.
Is that it?
My chicken scratch is all bad.
That's funny.
As it pertains to this, go for it.
No, I was, and then I forgot. You distracted me.
Just Magny looked better in the later rounds. It's like he knew what to expect. He weathered the storm of Jeff Neal, and Neal just got tired, and that's when Magny took control and looked phenomenal afterwards.
That's what it looked like, but also I'm surprised of how good of a chin he has, because he took some really hard shots too and just kept going. I was really surprised, so I'm impressed. That was cool.
Agreed. The takedowns too. I was surprised when he scored the takedowns that he did.
He was mixing it up really well.
That he was, and that fight went to decision. More of the exciting fight on the exciting end of the fight card, even though it did go to decision.
Yeah.
And then we had Donald Cerrone. Oh God, Donald.
Yeah.
Donald Cerrone versus Alex Morono.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think of that one?
Well, I have questions more than anything about Cerrone and his career. Like, one, where does he go from here? He's lost his last 5 out of 6, and his 6th fight, excuse me, was a no contest. So I know they're doing him a favor by throwing him a bone.
Yeah.
But he's continuing to have this loss record.
Yeah.
And after this fight, do you cut him? Do you retire him? Like, a lot of fighters don't like being told when they need by others that they need to stop. They'll decide when they want to stop.
Right.
So where do we go from here with Cowboy? Cowboy is a legend who's never won a belt.
Yeah, that sucks. That's sad
He's
that he
exciting.
never got. Yeah. I think like the talent just catches up at some point. Of course he's really good back in the day. He has a ton of experience. He's been doing this forever. He is a legend. But all these last 4, 5, or 6 fights, apparently, it's a pattern. He's always getting finished. I feel like when I think of Cerrone, all I think about is him getting finished now, which sucks. I don't like to see him get finished, but I don't know his age, but he's been doing this for so long. But to be honest, he'd always take a lot of shots anyway. His head movement's a little, not there, I guess. But and it's always been that way, and he gets away with it with his kicks because he's so good at the kicks. But he's not throwing those anymore as much. It looks like he's trying to stand up and box with everyone, and he's just, if you're not moving your head, don't box with someone, because that's what happens. And Morono's crazy. First of all, he's great. He's a good fighter. He's got those wild overhands. So
especially when he came in right away with one.
Well, you have to. I think they figured Donald Cerrone out. If you can get him in the first round, you can finish him. Otherwise, he can last all the rounds. His cardio is great. He's always been that way. But I think everyone's figured him out. His chin's not good anymore. He's taken a lot of damage. He's getting a little older. So, I'd rather him retire. He's great. There's nothing bad to say about him. I don't want to see him continue to get beat up, though, anymore. Everyone loves him. No one wants to see that. True.
But let's be honest. What would you say if he went to bare knuckle fighting?
Oh, I guess that's always a possibility. Because he doesn't want to stop fighting.
Yeah, he might, because he's doing his own thing now. He's got his own fight team.
Yeah.
Basically, that trains at his house. So, is he really in it?
That's what people were talking about too. Is he really in it? Because he's got all this other stuff going on outside of it. I don't know, but I think I may have heard Dana White say he'll give him another fight. I don't know if that's official or if that was a rumor. It could have been, but I think he did say he would consider giving him another fight. Nobody big, I don't know if that's true or not.
It would be just the last opportunity for him to go out on his shield.
That's exactly what. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like.
The way it breaks down, that's where we're at, unfortunately, as it pertains to his career, because he's had so many losses, the no contest, 6 straight. Not like it's 1-1-1-1-1 or 1-2-2-1 or what have you. 6 straight.
Yeah, but also he's fought like the best of the best. Also, he, I think the last few were just smaller up and comers, I believe, or the last 2 at least. But I would have liked to see him retire after Conor. That fight, that would have been cool to see him retire after that. Because there's no shame in losing to Conor, but man, don't keep fighting and losing to these other guys, and you're starting to become a placeholder. I don't know. I've seen enough of him. It's good. He's good. Let it go. He does so many other things that are just as crazy. I'm sure he can get his adrenaline rush doing whatever crazy stuff he does now. Yeah, I would like to. I don't want to see him fight another fight. I definitely don't want to see him lose another fight. Yeah, I don't know. But fighters like him are pretty stubborn, and also like Diego Sanchez. That's another good example where they just want to fight. They've been fighting forever, and they don't want to stop for a reason.
They don't want to be told when to stop, because that's up to them, which I completely understand.
That's what got him started in the first place. To be a fighter, I think you do need that. It is or it's not. You're either a fighter or you're not. You got to be crazy or you're not crazy enough.
Yeah.
Could be smarter about it, but you still got to have that crazy factor in you to get in there and do that for so long.
And then we have one more fight on this fight card, and that was Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle the Karate Hottie Waterson.
So what did you think of that?
All right. So Rodriguez looked great on the feet. Waterson really didn't utilize her wrestling until the 4th round, and by then it was too little too late. Yes. I think if she could have really used her wrestling, she should have used it early on, of course.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She tried to go toe-to-toe with her. It didn't work. She looked great in the 4th round.
The thing is that she looked good regardless, the whole fight. She has a ton of energy. She didn't look tired. She has so many different strikes that she landed. Even though, see, this is the thing I was talking about before when we were predicting this. I said Michelle Waterson always has really good fights. She's a great striker. It's just no knockouts. It kind of went the way I thought it was going to go. Decision. Yeah, but also every round's going to be exciting. It's just no one's going to finish anybody here. I've never seen her finish anyone. There could be a finish that I haven't seen, but when I think of her, I think of, oh God, here we go. It's going to be a decision. It's going to be crazy, but no one's going to finish anyone. She even said before her fight, she's like, if this goes to the ground, I'm going to finish her. It's like, well, why don't you go to the ground? Maybe.
Yeah, why go to your bread and butter? What's going to get you the win? Certainly not standing there.
I know, but karate. I mean, that's in her blood. That's
Which it didn't look like she used very well, except for her kicks.
Her kicks, yeah.
Her kicks look fine. They look good.
They're sharp. They're really sharp. They just don't finish anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's great. I love her, but I kind of already know what to expect every time I see her on a fight card. I'm like, okay, it's probably going to be crazy and it's going to be a great fight, but she's not going to finish. But anyway, Rodriguez got the win on that.
She did. She got the win, and neither of them were ranked, so we'll see what. Oh, I take that back.
Oh no!
It just they are ranked. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Rodriguez, is she moving up? Is she going to stay in the same place because she beat Waterson, who's ranked 9, and is that?
I think she's going to move up. I think she'll move up at least one. I think at least one.
Yeah.
I don't know who's next for Michelle Waterson though. She's kind of fought best of the best already. Kind of did her thing.
Maybe an up and comer. Maybe they throw her back in there with the vet.
Yeah, but I mean, I think my questions are answered with her at this point. I'm waiting for her to surprise me.
It doesn't matter. It's going to go to decision. The end.
Yeah, well, so far, and that's kind of what I predict from now on. But I don't know. I had such high hopes for her before because she, I think the only finish I can remember that she did, I think she choked out Paige Van Zant. But
She
also,
did. They showed her strangling the shit out of her.
yeah, but it's Paige Van Zant though. I was
Good
kind
point.
of expecting that. And then it happened. I'm like, well, okay, that's good. And then ever since then, I'm like, oh, all right.
So when it came to picks on Bellator, because we chose everybody the same, we went 2 for 2, 2 and 2. And then on this fight card, I got 3 picks and you got 2. So there was a first time for everything. I beat you. I win.
Yeah,
Right.
but that fight fell out with Angela Hill.
That's true. And we did pick opposing sides on that. So that would have been interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to find out later.
I'll keep my pick for June 5th. In 2-3 weeks, I'll still keep my pick. I don't mind. I don't care.
Yeah, we have to.
Savage. I don't care. All right. Then we got UFC this weekend. We have a pay-per-view. It is UFC 262. Oliveira versus Chandler. We'll get to the main event and we'll discuss that at great length because I do have some thoughts on that. But let's start at the bottom of the card with Matt Schnell versus Rogerio Bontorin.
Yes.
Sorry if I get this wrong.
Matt Schnell, I've seen him before. Have not seen the other guy, and I know he's ranked, but this whole weight class is kind of a mystery to me right now. I haven't really paid too close of attention, but also I feel like everything's kind of up in the air because there's a lot of turnaround with this weight class. And
there's just been a lot of turnaround with fighters lately. I've noticed that a lot of fighters haven't been able to really have full fight camps. That's something I've been picking up on. They're out and then they're right back in.
Well, I think it has to do with COVID because fights fall out because someone tests positive. So you need that replacement right away. And then also right before COVID happened, you had all these champs retiring. And bantamweight was Henry Cejudo. So he left and then it was kind of like, well, we don't know. And then anyone below that, I really am not familiar with a whole lot of them. So.
All right. When you look at their win records or win by record, they're both submission artists. So I'm curious to see this go to the ground now. I really want to see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm going to pick Matt Schnell just because I've seen him before or heard of him. We'll see, but it should be good because rank number 8, number 9, that's close. That's always a good fight.
Very true. Usually great fights. I'll take Rogerio just because Brazilian goes to the ground. Come on now, to my knowledge of Brazilians, they come out born knowing jiu-jitsu. Just like how
white belt. They're born with a white belt.
Right, just like how Russians wrestle bears for fun. Same thing.
True.
Same thing.
Yeah, for fun. Yeah.
So I pick Rogerio, even though he's coming off a loss. Hopefully we'll see some good stuff from both of these guys, especially on the ground. That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
And then we have Shane Burgos versus Edson Barboza.
Yeah, Edson Barboza. I haven't seen him in a while.
He's been fighting forever too.
Yes, I know. Shane Burgos. I haven't seen him fight in a while either, unless I missed it. But I don't remember when the last time he fought. I'm gonna go. I always go for Edson Barboza. I like him. That's who I'm gonna pick.
You're gonna take Barboza. All right. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to take the younger fighter in Burgos.
But also, what's up with that weight? What is it? Barboza's 155, 145 for Burgos.
Let's see if it says if it's a catch weight.
Oh, I hate those.
It's a featherweight bout.
So it's going to be 145. So Barboza's coming down.
Barboza had to come down.
I think that's okay. That's an okay move for him. I think he's been at the other weight class for a while, so we'll see if this does him any favors.
True. And he has a wealth of experience. You know, he's
Yes,
already been in the octagon X amount of times, so
for a long time.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I feel like if it goes to the ground, Barboza is in trouble.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. We will keep moving up the card. Okay. Let's see if I can get this right.
Yeah,
All
this
right.
will be fun.
All right. We have Kaelyn.
Ch-
Ch-
Chukagian.
Chukagian.
Yes.
I had it written down, and I need to write better because I can't read my own chicken scratch.
Yeah, good one.
Versus Vivian Rajo.
Yeah.
I had time to get that one. That's why I knew that.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know that one. I'm
The other
glad you
one,
got
I'm all writing it down. This is a women's flyweight bout, number 2 versus number 7.
Yes.
Ooh. Kaelyn is ranked higher.
She's number 2, I think, still. Number 2.
Yep, number 2.
Yeah.
Her nickname is the Blonde Fighter. Oh, huh.
Okay.
What gave it away? I didn't know that. Lots of wins by decision. So she has the cardio to go to the distance.
Yeah.
Whereas you have a mixture of wins for Araujo. So, Kaelyn, who do you pick?
Yeah. I'm expecting Chukagian to get this one. She has so much experience. She's fought the best of the best already. She's fought the champs. She's, you know, she was ranked number 1 for a while. Now she's number 2, only because she lost the title fight. But I think I picked Chukagian based on experience and the level of fighters that she's had to fight already. Vivian could take it too. She looks tough, but I just think that so Chukagian should get this one. That's what's supposed to happen. That's what I think. So I'm also gonna go for her. So I'm gonna go with Kaelyn.
Well, I'm going to take Araujo just because I can pronounce her name. No, just because I feel like what I am thinking is I'm hoping that she is motivated, that she wants to move up the rankings to get that title shot. And this is her big opportunity to do so. So hopefully
Chukagian is going to be a tough match for her. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, but if she can finish her off, because Chukagian can even, like, really 7%, but 80% by decision.
Nothing
no
impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
She just goes the distance and does her thing, and she's good at it, but couldn't be the champ, of course. But you know, I don't know. I'm expecting her to win. I don't know if it'll be exciting. I don't know if it'll be an exciting win, but I'm expecting her to get at least.
That's what you're looking for. I'm expecting Araujo to get the win. So we will discuss that next week, of course.
Okay.
And then we have Tony Ferguson versus Benel Dariush. Thank you. And I got stumbled on the first name, and yet I knew the last name.
Little did you know the last name was hard too.
Even though that is difficult. Ferguson is the huge vet in this. Although they do have similar fight records, Ferguson has been with the UFC longer.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with this?
I think Ferguson needs to come out and lay hands. That's what I think needs to happen. In order for him to get the win, he needs to come out and throw hands.
He needs to be the Tony Ferguson that he used to be, you know.
Precisely.
Before those couple terrible losses.
But Dariush, like, that dude's bad too. Like, we can't sleep on him. That's why he's in this position.
And I'm going to pick him because I think he's going to finish Tony Ferguson. Lately, Tony Ferguson, I was surprised to see Tony Ferguson get finished in the last couple ways that he has been. I think he might be, I don't want to say done, but I don't see him.
You don't think he's where he once was?
He definitely is not where he was. I just don't know if he can make that happen again. And also, I don't know if it's too late. You know what I mean? I think he's taken a lot of damage that he didn't have before. He is aging. Benel Dariush has heavy hands too. I'm sure he has the motivation enough to do this. I think I think that's what's going to happen. I think Dariush is going to, sadly, I think he's going to finish him.
I also picked Dariush as well, for all the same reasons. I also like how Dariush looks like a dad that is like, okay, I got to finish this fight because I got to go do a parent-teacher conference with my kids.
He does look like that, huh? You're right.
He really does.
No, looking at him, I was kind of getting the same kind of vibe, and then you just kind of put it into words, and I think you're right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Right. Watching the embedded on this was really interesting because it's great. He's been hanging out with his wife.
He's such a normal guy, you know?
Yeah, he's training and he's like, oh yeah, we like to, on Sundays, I don't train. We go to church, then we go to the park. And I'm like,
normal
wow.
Guy. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, basic human being, huh?
How many people know that you punch dudes in the face?
Oh man, if you see him walk down the street, I don't think you'd know that.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh, it looks like he might be going to a parent-teacher conference right now.
I know, he's so tough though. It's crazy.
Either going for his kid or being the teacher.
Yeah.
That fight should be good. Number 5 versus number 9 in the lightweight division. And then the lightweight title is up for grabs in this main event bout for UFC 262 as we have Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. All right. My question to you, do you think Michael Chandler should get a title shot in only his second UFC fight?
I've been thinking about that a lot. Well, definitely fast, but the way he made his debut though is pretty impressive. I mean, no, I probably wouldn't give him a title if I was Dana White or whoever the matchmaker, you know, whatever.
It's what if, of course, because you're not in that situation. So of course it's a complete what if. What also, would you do?
Me personally, I don't like the whole politics thing about UFC and whoever makes the most money gets to do what they want. And I mean, because fighting, I take fighting seriously. I think it's something that should be very professional. I think you should go by the rankings, and there should be, a streamlined line order that you go through in order to get those title shots. Meanwhile, he just comes over from Bellator, totally destroyed, who was it? Dan Hooker in his debut, which was impressive for a Bellator fighter to just come over and finish in that fashion, especially someone like Hooker to finish him. I don't know. I'm so excited for this fight though, but I would probably not do that out of respect for the UFC fighters that have already been working for this. But also Khabib left, so that's kind of switches things up a bit. Kind of gives you an opportunity to do what you want. Yeah, it's kind of an opportunity to do what you want. I'm so excited for this fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I don't know. It is what it is, and I kind of like it. So
I do agree with you about the Chandler situation. That Chandler should be competing for a belt in only his second UFC fight.
But it is a vacant belt.
Kind of different. That's true, but I feel like you give him one more fight.
One more.
And then that third fight, if he's exciting, that third fight, title fight.
Exactly. And yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen, because I thought that was the most logical thing. Give him another really tough guy, maybe someone that's ranked, I don't know, number 4 or 5.
Chandler is actually currently ranked number 4.
Well, that's kind of weird though, because he's only had one fight, so that's strange. That's a strange situation. But say there was a number 4, give him that guy, or maybe Hooker was number 4. I don't remember, but definitely one more fight, and then, but also Oliveira's ranked number 3. Is ranked number 3 also. So I think in this weird situation, it's okay. I like it. It's fine.
All right, now who do you take?
Oh man. This one's a tough one. Chandler's so tough, and I feel he's got it to win. Oliveira, he's been around for a while. He's fought, the best of the best. Also, he's getting so much better though. So I'm gonna take Chandler. Okay. I'm not 100% confident that that's gonna be the outcome, but I do see him winning though, and I think it will be by knockout. I think it'll be a TKO.
I feel the exact same way. It's Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, just because he fought Bellator, that doesn't mean he fought slouches. And so
No.
coming into the UFC is a big opportunity for him.
Yeah.
So I hope he outdoes everybody's expectations.
Yeah, now that
So
you said
I
that,
also picked Michael Chandler.
I feel since you just made that point, I feel more confident in that too. Bellator's, they're great too. I'm not saying they're not. Oliveira's been around for a while fighting UFC, but he's kind of been up and down with UFC. He's doing really good now. I feel like Chandler might want it more because this is so big for him right now. And for him to just come into UFC with no problem, finish the first guy that he fights, who was really good as
The guy
well.
they throw him in there with, and he does really well. Yeah,
he showed up to fight, and I think if he does the same thing, it'll have the same outcome. He'll get the belt, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, I do still feel like that's what's going to happen.
All right, we have made our picks for UFC 262, which takes place this weekend. We'll see what happens because this fight card's pretty nuts. So
yeah, I'm so excited.
I am too. That main event, like that title fight, is the big deal. So I look forward to that.
The only thing with vacant belts, it's like, okay, well, it's a toss up now. Anyone has a fair shot at it. What I don't want to see is the belt get passed around a bunch. Like say Chandler does win or Oliveira does win, and I would hate to see those guys lose it right away in the next fight. In their title defense. I hate seeing that because there's such a big buildup of who even gets a title shot, and then once they do, they get the belt. It's kind of like a Holly Holm situation. She got the belt and then lost it right away.
She was a transitional champion, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess. I just hope that's not the case here. I don't think it will be, but we'll see.
All right. That's it for UFC fight picks and our view of what's going to happen. But we are still going to talk about UFC because it's us and we do that. We have Conor McGregor cracking the top. What was it? Conor McGregor celebrates being recognized as an entrepreneur by Forbes.
Mm-hmm.
He made $180 million, and he is just one of 4 athletes to rake in more than $100 million in that span. Good for Conor.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing, that's for sure.
He's got the right people in place to help invest his money. That is awesome.
He's a pretty smart guy himself too.
That's true, but with how flashy he is, I don't know. Like I think he just has the right people in place.
Yeah, but also, who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't be that way if you're him? He always takes it to the limit, and he pushes it too far sometimes. But somehow he always comes back.
That's true. That he does. So congrats to him on making those buku bucks. Because at one point he was dirt poor. So
I know. I remember that. That's what made me like him in the first place. And then I was like, I didn't. For a while, I was kind of like tired of him, and now I'm like, well, it is what it is.
He's all right. I think it's because he's been humbled.
Humbled? No, exactly. Yeah. Before I'm like, who's this asshole who thinks he's all that? Yeah. I'm just waiting for him to lose. And then he did lose, but then still he didn't seem to really care. It still did his thing. I'm like, all right, fine.
He's Conor McGregor. What do you expect? He's all, I'm going to fight Floyd Mayweather. And his, heavy accent.
I was so annoyed with that, but I watched it and it was cool. And considering all the other people that want to fight boxers that aren't boxers, seeing how they end up, he did pretty good against Mayweather. So that's more respect to him.
I completely agree, and I thought so too. I'm still excited to see whatever Paul fights, whatever, but I can't keep track of that anymore.
Don't care.
But I'm not paying for it. Not paying for it. I'll see the highlights for free.
Yeah, for sure. I don't care about those two guys. Whatever. Why is Mayweather doing that? I don't know. Money?
He's got to pay his taxes.
Is that it? Yeah, I bet.
That's really my thought on it.
He's got a lot of cars. Registration's coming up.
He's all, man, property taxes are a bitch.
Property taxes, yeah.
Just saying.
So yeah, you'll see him take a fight every once in a while when those taxes are due.
Oh, car registration? Man, it's expensive.
Oh wait, I gotta register all of them?
Exactly. All right. Alexander Gustafsson is going to make another run in the UFC. He is returning. He retired a while back, and he says he's going to make a go.
Okay, but
I'm excited because I like Gustafsson.
I've liked him. I've always liked him too.
I just don't know. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like, I think I'm tired of people retiring and coming back, retiring and coming back. If you're not like, if you're going to retire and say you're retired, stay retired.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Go back and forth. If you are not sure, if you're not sure though, then just don't say anything and just don't fight.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what for a while, when Henry Cejudo retired, I already knew, and it hasn't happened yet, but I already knew that he wanted to retire, and I thought he wanted to retire because I think he was thinking more of his comeback than keeping up with fighting, with his contract that he had. So I'm like thinking exactly what you said. I'm like, just take a break. Don't retire. Take a break. And then if you do want to retire, yeah. And I don't think Henry Cejudo is going to come back. I don't think he will. But at the time, I thought for sure that's what he was doing. But yeah, I guess it was a trend for a while. I feel like those guys retire just so they can come back and maybe have an exciting fight that's worth a lot of money to them. I don't think this is the case with Gustafsson. I don't know if I mean, he could do what he wants, but I'm not that excited to see him come back.
I am and I'm not. I do like Gustafsson a lot, but I'm not super stoked. Like, I got to see who he's fighting. If I see who he's fighting, then I can get amped about it. Then I can be excited. Until then, I'm like, oh, cool, he's coming back. Hey, you know what? Good for him.
But also, my questions were kind of answered already when he lost to John Jones. It's like, okay, and I know that was at light heavyweight, of course. But then Gustafsson tried to come in at heavyweight, and it didn't go too well for him either. So everyone has such high hopes, and then with that, it's like, okay, I don't know. But now John Jones isn't a light heavyweight anymore. He's going to heavyweight. So where is this going to end up?
Maybe they'll compete again. Maybe they'll have the trilogy, even though Jones won both fights.
True. You know what? That first one was really damn close, and
that was close.
I was really excited for the second one, but the way it ended, I'm like, well, my questions are answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Jones puts a wrench in everything.
He does. Well, it's John Jones.
Around. Yeah, but he's still around.
There's only two. He's probably only going to really have two losses in life. That was to his mama, because she beat that ass, and then to probably some type of Justice Department. Some
kind of justice. Yeah.
I mean, he's in so much. He gets in legal trouble, so I mean, they'll get him there.
Yeah, but he's in the mix.
I love John Jones. Everybody loves John Jones because he's such a phenomenal talent. I just wish he would get his act together and just figure it out.
I kind of like him for it. He always gets in trouble, comes back, wins, does it again, wins.
He's like, man, I was on cocaine.
All right. I didn't train for that fight.
All right. Okay. How do you train for somebody on coke? Really?
Yeah.
But continuing the announcements and retirements, Al Jaban. Al Jaban. I'll get it one day. I just need to sit down before I do this and literally phonetically write everything out, so I will know.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time. Someone's got to work.
Yeah.
But he has decided to retire from the UFC. He is 17-7. He is 8-5 in the UFC. And the 38-year-old announced on his on Twitter, apologize, on Twitter that he is done with the world of MMA and is retiring.
Yeah, well, he's got endless things to do. This guy, I think, before UFC, he was a model for like underwear or something before he came into UFC. So I think because everyone would make fun of him, like, oh, you don't know how to fight, you're just a pretty boy, blah, 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 which he is, but he didn't do too bad. And props to him for retiring. Like, if you don't want to do it, definitely don't do it.
Didn't look like he took too much damage either, so he should be good.
Yeah. And he's a commentator, so I'm sure he'll still be doing that.
That's what he'd also said, is that he's going to focus full time on
He's good at it.
broadcasting.
He's pretty good at it. Yeah.
All right. Look forward to that. Man. But it's good also that he's retiring at a younger age, because then he hasn't had too much damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate because now we are going to start seeing it more in MMA. We've already seen it with boxing, but we're going to start seeing a lot of these fighters that have taken X amount of damage, and it's going to start affecting them. I mean, let's be honest. I feel like we kind of have with Diego Sanchez.
Well, what do you think he's going to do now? What do you think? I mean, besides fighting, if he had to retire, if no one wants to pick him up, what do you think he would do for a profession or a job, or
Well, that we're talking about Al, so he would model. The end.
No, yeah, that's different. That's not Diego Sanchez.
No, you're right. Diego Sanchez. That's a really good question. What can Diego Sanchez do now? I have no idea.
Exactly. So that's, there's a lot of question marks with that guy anyways.
Very much so. Maybe he'll
just go back into his warehouse and hang from the ceiling like a bat and take some hits.
Maybe he's healthy enough to do bare knuckle fighting. Hopefully he saved his money.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be shocked either. And that's not to say that bare knuckle fighting is bad. That's not what I'm saying. But fighters get to a certain point where their market value isn't what it used to be in the UFC. And so other MMA promotions possibly see that and decide to not go that route. But yet bare knuckle fighting is still trying to find its place.
It is.
That's why you're getting to it, especially when you have people like Paige Van Zandt, who is there, former UFC fighter.
More fighters.
Chris Lieben, who just retired from fighting. His last fight was a bare knuckle fight. So, it's just they're finding their way, but they have to find their way by using stars that are not necessarily in their heyday as they build stars.
Yeah. And I feel like the whole bare knuckle thing, like especially UFC fighters that aren't fighting in UFC anymore, it's almost kind of like the more crazier thing to do. Like, what can I do to one up myself? Like, I'm not in UFC anymore. I can still fight, I can still train. What's more crazier? More exciting that people would watch. And right now I think it's bare knuckle. Like, when someone says that they fight that, you automatically think like, oh crap, that's tough. Not everyone can do that, and not everyone can be a UFC fighter either. But to go from UFC to that's the next extreme, I think. So I think that's why a lot of people do it. I don't know, maybe it'll take off more than what it is now.
Possibly. I hope it does, because it is very exciting. Very fast fights for the most part.
Brutal.
Hard knockouts. Yeah. All right. And then now we're going to move on from all that, and we're going to talk about Kayla Harrison.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you showed me some clips of her. Holy cow. She scares me. Amanda Nunes is the GOAT of all female fighting right now. To me, Chris Cyborg is also the GOAT. Like, those are on the top 5. This is 1 and 2. Let's be honest. It's Chris Cyborg. Cyborg was killing it before her.
Yeah, but when you have a fight between two GOATs, just like Chris Cyborg did with Nunes, and Nunes knocked her out, to me, Nunes is a GOAT. You know what I mean? Like, that answered that question.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. But in the top 5, you have Nunes, and you have Cyborg.
Yeah, for picking 5.
It's like you're going to have. Yeah. Well, then what's going to happen when Nunes starts losing? Then we're going to say that person is the GOAT.
I don't know. That people throw that term around way too easy. I think she is the GOAT right now, for sure. For sure.
She's the best at the moment.
For so long. Yeah. Cyborg as well, but I have seen her lose.
Which Cyborg is actually fighting. Cyborg's fighting next week in Bellator. So that fight will be coming up. We'll
Leslie
discuss
Smith,
that next
right?
week. Yes.
Yeah, Leslie Smith. I think I know how that one's going to go, but I think we saw
Same
that
here.
fight already, didn't we?
Yes. This will
We
be
saw
the
that
second fight that they have.
Yeah.
But Kayla Harrison was, I feel like she would be in the third of this list because she is
Yes.
fierce. She
Yes.
is scary. And yet Dana White doesn't think she's ready to compete in the UFC.
Well, first of all, she fights at 155. There's no weight class for that in UFC. And I'm sure she could drop the weight to make 145. But, I mean, what she's getting paid where she's at, why would she leave to get paid shit and you not really have respect from the president, Dana White? And I don't blame him because, first of all, she is that heavy. She fights that heavy. And the 145 division is almost dissolved right now. There's really not that many. So for her to come from where she's at to go to UFC, I don't think it'd be smart. I think she would get to UFC and then go nowhere, either become the champ or go absolutely nowhere. So if I were her, I'd stay where she's at. They get paid great over there too. She's beaten everyone. She is one of the GOATs. You can't deny that. But going to the UFC, I don't think smart. And I like her response. It's about the money because that's smart. And what the future would be if she did switch over to UFC. It's just that weight class is not strong in the UFC. I can't even name 5 fighters that are in it, the 145 division, and half of them go down to 135 anyways.
That's true. I completely agree with you on that. Would you, because you have someone like Harrison who is so strong and such a formidable force, would you develop a weight class around her? Would you sign maybe 6 fighters? No, you don't think she's that big of a star?
No, she is. That's the problem. Who are you going to find that's going to be competitive? That's my thing. It's like an Amanda Nunes. Who are you going to have that's competitive enough?
You could cherry pick from other companies.
Oh, we're in Fantasyland? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, if we're going to build, this is the idea that we're going to build a whole division around this one female fighter because she is the bee's knees.
Yeah, but okay. The way I see this whole thing, you have Amanda Nunes, Chris Cyborg, Kayla Harrison. You could throw in there Jermaine Duranamy if you want. She could be 145. And I don't know who else. One more. I don't know. Holly Holm, maybe. She's gone up to 145 as well. Those girls are on another level than everybody else. Once those girls have fought each other, there's nowhere else to go until someone else comes up and is as big as a star as they are. That's why I didn't think Kayla Harrison should go to UFC. There's no one it's not a stacked division. She will literally have no fights.
All right, touche.
Same with all those girls. They're gonna fight each other. Cool, great fights, but then what? That's what I'm thinking about.
So if she comes down to 145 and they pay her the money she asks, then we could see her in the UFC.
Yeah, but I'm still worried about what would even happen then. It's not stacked enough, It's just not.
Touche.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. And then I should have mentioned it earlier, but I didn't. I forgot in the way I set up the order of the show to go. Oh. Anderson Silva is calling it quits from MMA. Yeah, he will compete in boxing and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Just no MMA.
Okay. I'm not mad at that at all. That sounds like
not either. He's going to be fighting on the 19th of June against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Mexico. So we will see how that happens. We've been seeing a lot of that. MMA fighters going into boxing. MMA fighters haven't had the best of luck when it came to that. We'll see if this changes. Something new for the Spider. I'd much rather see him compete in jiu-jitsu though.
Me too. And I don't even know as much jiu-jitsu as you do. I would like to see that way more than boxing.
I think it'd be awesome.
yeah, I think it'd be really exciting. The whole boxing thing, it's like, all right, again, here we go again.
It's starting to feel played out.
It's so played out. It's way too played out right now for me. I'm sure other people love it. I'm not interested. Kind of disappointing to me that he wants to go that route. I mean, if he gets paid, that's great. I'm sure that's why he's doing it anyways. But I don't know, whatever. I can't see him boxing, can you? I mean, to be a traditional boxer, I can't
A
see it.
traditional boxer? No. Do I think he'll be okay striking?
You think so?
Yeah, okay. Oh, it's a boxing match. He's going to get the break speed off of him by a boxer.
A boxer, exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not excited about it, but sounds so terrible. I'm like the biggest fight fan, and I hate these fights
because they're getting ridiculous. There's getting to be too many of them. It's one thing when they're once in a while, but it's so often now that it's like
there's way too many.
You don't care.
Yeah,
it's lost its uniqueness.
It's the money, though. I think it's the money is too big to pass up, and if you have a chance to get your foot in there to get just a little bit of it, I see a lot of people doing it, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't either.
The fight fan goes, I'm not excited.
I completely agree. All right, and the last thing we will discuss for the MMA Mainstream Podcast is the Underground Fight Series is coming back. I've mentioned it just about every week. That's what we do. Yeah. And we have registration for it going on. The fights are coming up pretty quick. It's Sunday, June 6th. I think registration may be close. I'm not sure. If you're interested, go to the website, undergroundfightseries.com. Contact any of us with MMA Fight Pass, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction and get you in contact with who you needed to get in contact with. So I'm looking forward to that. We've discussed it. You are going to try to attend. I will definitely be there.
I'll be there.
This will be, I'm hoping to see some more great matches. The first one was amazing, and I'm looking forward to doing this again.
Yeah,
it should be amazing.
I love that this is local too. That's cool.
Completely agree. And also local 559 Fights is coming back to Visalia. I want to say at the end of June. I will get that date for the next show, and we will discuss that again. But yeah, 559 Fights is back. So amateur MMA is back in the Central Valley. Oh man, we're getting back to normal.
Yay! Yay!
Thank goodness.
Yep, I love it.
Oh, I do too. I look forward to when we see pro fights locally. Oh,
yeah.
Flachi Palace Fights. I miss you. Come back, please. Love, James.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Kaelyn, do you got anything to add?
Nope, not this week.
Not this week? All right. That'll do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.